And welcome back, everyone, welcome back to the HomeStory Cup 25 Day 1 group stage. We're here in one of our final rounds of Group B. I'm of course HomeStory VIP, and with me I'm joined by all these lovely people in the chat and these amazing players as well. As we are diving into our next series, you can see there on the top right, Sebesdes versus Moja coming up next. And here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn. We have our blue Terran player from the land of Germany, representing himself, currently teamless, but looking on fire, especially in this matchup, in this group. It is Moja. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the yellow Protoss player from the land of Czechia, representing Team Roddy. It is Sebesdes. Here we go again. Moja earlier was able to flex his TVP and bring down Euthermal. It was a more chaotic series. Euthermal was playing as Zerg and against Protoss. In the end, Moja brought him down. Likewise, Moja was able to bring both Geralt and Skillus to the ace match, so he has clearly shown his prowess in this matchup. Sebesdes, likewise, has also been able to take maps during the group stage. Was able to take it against Skillus earlier in the group. Likewise, Sebesdes had a bit of a rougher showing. He was able to bring Euthermal to the ace match as well, but did fall to Gumiho. And it was just a really unfortunate showing because Gumiho is not the most standard of players. So personally, I feel like we didn't really get to experience and really get to see what Sebesdes has to offer. Like, the Gumiho series was very chaotic and very short. If you remember, Game 1, Gumiho went for a proxy right into the main base of Sebesdes. Game 2, Gumiho went for a proxy starport with a Hellion drop and got a bunch of worker damage. And again, both games, Gumiho started off by getting like 15 plus probe kills, and Gumiho was able to flex from there and maintain his lead. So Sebesdes just wasn't able to get into his game. Here against Moja, I believe that he will. I believe that we can have a more back and forth, and we're able to sink our teeth into Sebesdes' PvT and see what he has to offer. So I'm ready, I'm excited. For now, economic opener. Rax expand out of Moja. We have a single gas here back at home, so again, just a Rax into CC on the low ground. Economic start by our German Terran player. Meanwhile, Sebesdes back at home, just going gate, cyber, expand, standard opener as well. Okay, we get the SB. Oh! One more shot away. Alas, it does not go down. A probe has to be sent away. And Moja is forced to bring down another SCV. Will eventually shoo away this pesky probe. And Moja can now expand. Back at home, we have our take of choice, a Twilight Council opener out of Sebesdes. Interesting location, opting not to throw down the Twilight Council here in the main, but throws it down at the natural instead. This is something that Classic does. The Korean Protoss player, he often does throw down his tech at the natural. It's an interesting choice as we bring down both Marines for the Adept. But it's an interesting choice. It does mean it's a little bit more difficult to scout as you have to check both locations. It's very common for the Terran player to just check the main and not quite check the natural, so you can hide it as a result. Likewise, suddenly this pylon is not necessarily an Artosis pylon, as otherwise everything would be powered by the one pylon and your tech is more exposed in certain aspects. Instead, we do spread it out. And we have extra gates on the way. Okay, we have one gateway in the main. We have two gateways on the low ground. It's going to be a 3-gate blink opener here from Sebesdes. Something a little bit more aggressive. We saw in Euthermal's game, he opened up 2-gate blink into a third. And I'm not saying this is an all-in, but with the third gateway, we have extra warp-ins, we have more map control, we can be more assertive here from the side of Sebesdes. We'll eventually take a third base, don't get me wrong. We'll eventually expand, but can be a little bit more assertive as Moja is sending everything across the map. We have Marines, we have Hellions that we fully wall off. With a full wall off, that means the Hellions cannot break through. Hellions that would have loved to have gone into a mineral line, but alas, we hold the line. Sebesdes, realizing how much danger he was in, fully walls off, and we hold. Cancel the gateway, shield whatever he does finish. Robo in the main is going to be for the Warp Prism or the Observer, either or. They both give us high ground vision. And there it is, the Prism is on the way so we can reinforce across the map. Sebesdes is getting ready for his third base and will soon be pushing out. Meanwhile, across the map, we've been focusing a lot on our Protoss player, but Moja has gone for a 1-1-1. And we saw this earlier against Euthermal. He is getting into earlier Banshee production into tanks. So it's going to be Tank Banshee here from Moja. Has a little potential to harass. We do have a Robo for detection, but for the time being, we have no Observer. Not yet. but we have access to one. As the first Banshee is moving out, has a lot of potential in these mineral lines. At the same time, Sebesdes does catch the Hellions. One Hellion goes down, not just one. With these blinks, we can shut down the second Hellion as well. At the same time, we thread the needle. The Banshee does avoid the Stalkers and avoids the Prism, and heads for the bases. Does head for the bases. We do have an Observer, but no Stalkers back at home. The Banshee has arrived, does reveal itself, and we do force the defensive warp in. We have Blink. Oh, get a couple of hits in. The Banshee takes a lot of damage, only one probe goes down. Hellion's being shut down, and once we can clean up this Hellion, we can push. We can move out with our army. Prism does, ooh, barely not quite catch the additional Banshee. There's a tank in the main, second tank has arrived, bunker on the low ground. We do have a decent defensive setup, but the main base is still quite exposed. And here come the Stalkers. Here comes the push. Second Banshee does race back home. We could try to pick off a tank or maybe try to pick away at the production. Stalkers do test the waters. Tank on the high ground is revealed. We have another warp in. More Stalkers moving out. And the Prism will give vision of the tank. We don't commit. Okay. Yeah, two tanks are set up here. We can cover each other. Sebesdes backs off. And from here, we're expanding. We're expanding, we're teching. The goal now becomes, it's not about breaking the Terran player on two bases, it's about contain. It's about containing the Terran player, delay the third for as long as we can, and expand. So third base getting saturated, taking up towards charge. We have the Bay on the way for Colossus production. All we have to do is just make sure that no drop moves out, and no Banshees move out either. Speaking of, here come those Banshees. They skirt around the edge of the map, making their way towards the main. The Banshees do escape. Ooh, bold move. Sebesdes is not losing any Stalkers, does force a bit of friendly fire, and gets a couple of Marines. Sebesdes is backing off, going for additional gateways. He will have a defensive warp in. He does have an Observer back at home. Thankfully, because Sebesdes knows that he didn't kill the Banshees, he keeps the Observer back at home. He has detection available. He has the tools to defend. But two Banshees, one-shot probes. We get one, we get two, we get three. Three probes going down. We get a fourth probe and barely a fifth. Stalkers do rotate around, but we're not done. We get 6, 7 probes. 7 probes full. At the same time, we're pushing. The main army does move out, and Sebesdes, do we react in time? We do. Pull away. Oh, that's going to be 10 probe kills across the map. 10 probes for 2 Banshees. Pretty worthwhile trade here for Moja. Catching some Stalkers as well. And Sebesdes, he's in a bit of trouble. Does reinforce. Charge does finish in time. And with the help of the charge lots, we can take this fight. Depending on how we engage. Oh, one Stalker goes down. We dive on top of the tanks. The medevac. Medevac does survive. Tanks fall back. And Sebesdes has to be very careful to overextend. We can see Sebesdes setting up a surround. He's trying to come in from behind. Zealots. They do wrap around, but do we have enough? The tanks are still standing strong. Oh, the Colossus looking exposed, and the Colossus will fall. A bit of an overextension here from Sebesdes. Massive pickoff. I say that. Oh my god. Sebesdes, calm down. Saves it. I heard the Prism, but I couldn't believe it. We save the Colossus. We do recall back home. Whew. Big save here from Sebesdes. Does recall. Second Colossus has arrived. But still, very tense situation here for the Protoss player, as we did bleed out a lot of gateway units. The tanks are sieging. The Prism overextends. Prism goes down. That means we can't juggle anymore. We can't try to micro back our units. Tanks not really within range of much, within range of a gateway. Fourth base on the way. But again, we need warp-ins. We need an army. We just don't have it. We have a Disruptor in production. The Disruptor will help. Third Colossus as well. Trying to step a flank. And we do shave off some Marines. Zelt's going to be going down. Can we get the tank? It looks like we barely cannot. Oh my god, the Stalkers go down. Massive tank shots. It's going to be a close hold. It looks like with the help of these Zelts, we will clean this up. We will barely hold on. The tank falls, and now only a handful of Marauders. Yeah, the tank count was reset. Moja has to back off. Sebesdes survives. Whew. Oh my god. That was a very close hold and not an easy one, bearing in mind that Moja still has momentum. May have lost The tanks may have lost a bunch of the bio army, may have lost Marines and Marauders, but the medevacs, they stand strong. We still have plenty of production kicking in. Third base is up and running. Moja still has the supply lead. And Sebesdes is barely holding on. Storm is on the way. Storm is going to be a big moment here for Sebesdes, where even though he has less army supply, he can take some better trades, depending on how well we can connect with these storms. Fourth base also got up and running. Our economy is still looking strong here for our Protoss player. We just need time. We just need time to warp in. Speaking of, Moja should not be giving Sebesdes too much more time. Ghosts, Marines, Vikings are on the way. Once we get our first wave of Ghosts out, that's when we move out. That's when we push. That is when Moja does push. 4 CC in production. Plenty of SCVs soon to Maynard over. Saturate the 4th. Both players just, after a very chaotic early game, are backing off. They're letting each other breathe. We're calming things down for a moment. For a second. Mortal production has begun. How many disruptors do we have? One. Just the one disruptor. Moja fanning out his Marines, getting guys on any move outs. Likewise, same can be said for Sebesdes. The army is spotted. Moja pulling back. Sebesdes makes his way over towards the 3rd. Does confirm location of the main army. Zealot trying to drag Moja out of position. We're pushing in towards the 3rd, but we're here. We're here in time. We do respond in time. Oh, risky move. Doesn't connect. Sebesdes trying to be cheeky, but calm down. Never doesn't quite connect. And can we punish this? Moja moving out. How many Vikings do we have? 14. Oh, that's a lot of Vikings. 14 Vikings. These Colossus are not long for this world. The Vikings should have their way with this. Nice storm, though. EMP likewise does connect. Sebesdes is getting in position. First Colossus goes down. Again, one volley is all we need. Second Colossus falls. Massive storm on the Vikings. Nova doesn't quite connect. We have 2 more storms left. The Viking count did plummet. Disruptor coming in from a flank. Sebesdes holds. He holds on. We spoke about it, how storms did give a lot of opportunity here to Sebesdes. He does hold on, does survive. Did lose all of his Colossus in the process. Likewise, went from 14 Vikings down to 5. With a lower Viking count, that means we can actually go back into Colossus production. It's the ebb and flow of TVP. As the Viking count goes down, Colossus can go back up. Vikings go up, Colossus go down. Yeah, they is. As for now, Moja is focusing on his bio production, has not gone back into Vikings, not yet. Likewise, Sebesdes is focusing on disruptors. Dark Shrine on the way. Sebesdes taking a 5th, taking the center base. Likewise, Moja expanding, taking his 4th at the center of the map as well. A bit of a Hail Mary Nova. Doesn't quite catch the army. I appreciate the initiative there from Sebesdes. As Moja's working on 3-3, splitting up his forces. Does split up his forces. Rotating over. And we're not quite in position. We missed this movement. And Moja going straight for the Nexus. Likewise, Sebesdes pulling back. Does recall back home. Does recall, does defend. Likewise here on the right-hand side, we don't have an army, but we have plenty of static defense. That's a wall of cannons and shield batteries. And a high tempo with Storm. So we are set up. So far, so good. Both armies are maxing out. But you can see Sebesdes, he's reading a rotation here towards the right-hand side, but really we're focusing on the left. Sebesdes not in position, and we just recalled. Did leave an army, has 1 disruptor. Big storm. Nova goes up. A very nice connection. But again, the rest of the army has to rotate around. We're not where we need to be. Nova is popped. Storm's not quite connecting yet. Does Sebesdes have enough? Decent Nova. High Templar coming in. We have storms. Plenty of them. Oh my god. At the same time, Zealot counterattack. Only a handful of Zealots, only 2. Not getting much done. They managed to catch 3 SCVs. Not bad. It's going off, zoning away the Terran. And these Zealots are getting actually more done than I thought. 5 SCVs. This was like 2 or 3 Zealots. Getting up. Can we get 6? We can. 6 SCVs go down. Moja rotates on the right-hand side, and we catch a stray Immortal. Very nice catch. Immortal goes down. But at least Sebesdes is aware of the army. Another Zealot Rabbi runs into a Planetary. Planetary can hold its own. No damage dealt. And again, so important here that we keep up with the rotations. Show us a Storm! Not a bad Storm, mainly on the Medevacs. Does bring them down to orange. Oh, that's a big warping of DTs. We do slip by. Oh, he notices! He sees! Show us EMP! Show us a scan. We have Blink! Oh my god, we barely escape, but an EMP does connect. Nova's going up. Oh, dealing some friendly fire. And chaotic moment here. Storms are thrown down. We weather the storm. But we have to respect the disruptors. Another storm does connect. Oh my god, we just walked through it. The army deep in the red. One more Nova. One more storm even. Anything. The army getting low at the same time. Zealot run by across the map. Probes get caught transferring. Yeah, a lot of probes falling. Do we have another Nova? DTs are in the mix. We force another scan. And the army gets forced back. Zealot Rumite doesn't get much done. Was caught on the production. Thankfully, this main art isn't caught. Probes are saturating another fringe base, taking a 6th. Sebesdes does hold.
I am but a phantom.
Oh my god. Use that phantom. So you catch a goal transferring SCVs to the Nova. Decent connections. You catch some of those Marauders. Storms as well. Splits are looking good, but the warp-in does complete. And we reinforce on the front lines. Sebesdes takes the fight. The army heavily overstimmed or just softened up from everything. The stims, the storms. But Moja is sneaking out of base. I believe Sebesdes did catch wind of it. Yeah, he's aware. Does rotate around, and yeah, Moja just a little bit too ambitious with this base. It's not going to finish. It's not going to get up and running. We will shut it down. And 9 SCV kills. The base itself should fall. A couple of extra volleys. But this does buy time. Buys time for the Marauder count to build up, for everything to be repaired. Jesus, how many medics do we have? 14! Catch a disruptor. Bit of a misrally. Misrally there by Sebesdes. Nova's going off, not quite connecting. But does zone away the army. We're running out of Novas though. You have to be careful. The army has to pull back. Novas are on cooldown. And disruptors are going down. Another flanking Immortal gets shut down as well. Once again, a misrally. And we have to retreat. Oh my god. Nova finishing just in time. But then you can see without Novas, like, there's nothing to stop Moja from just stimming on forward. Be very careful with how and when we send them out. Down to 5 disruptors. Moja pushing on the right-hand side, running into the wall of cannons. That will buy time. We'll buy some time here. Oof. Another Nova going up, catching a Zealot. Meanwhile, Skytoss on the way. Let's go. We have +1 air attack. I did notice it earlier. We have the fleet beacon. Ooh. Solid connection there on the Marauders. Army stimming forward. The carrier production is on the horizon. We just need to buy a little bit more time for the Skytoss. Remember, we're very Marauder heavy. No Vikings, a handful of Marines. Sure, like, we have Marines, sure, but not too many of them. We don't really have the answer to Skytoss. We have more Marauders than there are Marines. Like, that's just how, like, anti-ground heavy we are. We're not ready for Skytoss. Drop gets caught. Sebesdes does split up his army. Responding. Can he keep up, though? Can he keep up? Turning the army away. Other drop moves in. Would you force the overcharge? Nova's going up. Oh my god! And finally some massive connections. Novas do connect. At the same time, we catch a drop on the left-hand side. Even without Skytoss, we may not even need it. Zealots, they hit the natural. SCVs are going down. And Moja, he's being pulled apart. He tried to pull apart Sebesdes, he pulls himself apart instead. And you know what? The carriers, they have arrived. Where are they? In the main? Yeah, they're in the main. They're banking up in the main base. Another big connection. A nice attempted split. Adam Moja does shut down some disruptors. We do catch a few disruptors. I'm saying a couple a lot. I apologize. I think I'm just tired. My brain is just shutting down a little bit. Casting at 7 a.m. in the morning. Ay, ay, ay. Trying to catch myself. As back at home, we're just banking up these carriers. We're waiting for the opportune moment to reveal ourselves, to reveal our trump card. We're almost there. It is risky just because we're working with a smaller army to defend, just because we have a lot of supply tied up in the carriers. We stim in. I mean, it does stim forward. Sebesdes has to back off. Does have to retreat. Carriers, here they come. Oh, and again, how many Marines do we have left? 22 Marines, 24 Marauders. The base goes down. But the carriers have arrived. And Nova's going to be going up. Strong connections. And we're running out of Marines. Straight up. No Marines left. Ghosts are going down. Marines are going down. We have Marauders remaining. They do take care of the ground army. Not a bad trade, but we will lose everything. Yeah, the Marauders go down like everything else falls. The medevacs will boost away. And the carrier army can keep pushing. Oh, this is not a planetary. No sag defense. This base will fall. We just muled. The fresh mules. Get out of here. So unfortunate. Here come the reinforcements. Moja avoiding the sky toss. Going for a counterattack. A desperation move here. Towards the natural base of Sebesdes. Ideally going straight for the main. Came with the production. It's the only move that Moja has left. Just send it all right down mid. A Hail Mary play. Bases are falling left and right. Carriers have arrived. Well, we have two of them at least. Not with too many interceptors. We can focus them down. We can try to catch them. And the question becomes, okay, we recall. I was going to say, do we come back home? The answer is yes. We do recall back home. Now this move out does kill the third. Does kill a base. That's all we've gotten so far. Meanwhile, Sebesdes, he has top right. As top right, more Marines are arriving. We have a little more anti-air. Nice EMPs on the carriers. And do we have enough? 33 Marines. They bring down every single interceptor. We're running out. We're running out of interceptors. Big overextensions of SS. He bleeds out the carriers. Man with gun, too good. We stim forward. We bring down 1, 2, 3, 4 carriers go down. We need time to rebuild, and we just don't have it. Carriers do back up. How many was that? That was 4. 4 carriers going down, but they do make it back in time to the safety of the shield battery. Again, we ran out of interceptors. Colossus has arrived. CMP. And Moja making a game out of this. If you look at the army supplies, Moja is up. He's up in army supply. Down in overall, Moja, he has 17 SCVs. Barely an economy. But that's why we need to break the main. We need to break the main base somehow, some way. Catching this Nexus doesn't matter because we have top rights. Like, Sebesdes still has some solid mining going on. Moja running out of resources, down to 1 base himself. Less than 1 base saturation. Does get 19 SCVs. Do we have a storm? We do! Storm coming in! Massive, oh my god, massive storm! The Marines, they melt! Ay, ay, ay. That was how many? 67 Marines. I mean, this trade has been crazy. This is just how long the fight's been going, back and forth. Showing the disruptions that were caught earlier. Army rotating around. But you saw the army supply plummet there for Moja. Do we have another storm? Just the one High Templar. Needs more time to build up. Taking another base. Our mining bases right next to each other. Moja making 10 Marines. It's just pure Marine. it's just pure Marine out of Moja. What does that mean? That means that like 1 or 2 good storms and this army crumbles. Like the army is so susceptible to storm. Now it's turned into almost purely marine. Whether it's Storm, whether it's Colossus. Speaking of, we're getting back into Colossus as well. I would love to see a Warband of High Templar. Do we have any? We have two. We have two High Templar. Two High Templar remaining. 0 Ghost for Moja. Oh, that's concerning. I have a hard time seeing a world where Moja can take a fight without EMPs, without Ghosts. Potentially he can, as he catches some Zealots. At the same time, the High Templar are going to be going down. No Storm! The High Templar and the Colossus as well. Best case scenario for Moja. As Sebesdes, he pleads out Colossus and High Templar for free. That was 2 Colossus and 2 High Templar. We have 1 High Templar left. Doesn't have Storm. Uh-oh. The Interceptors, they're running out. The army sims on forward. Interceptors falling one after the other. We do have a Colossus. Very tense. Moja, he has a chance. He can win this. He can pull this off. We have to respect the overcharge. Overcharge is popped. But that's kind of the situation that Moja's hoping for. He's hoping for, if he can catch the Colossus on their own, the High Templar on their own, if we catch Sebesdes exposed like that, then Mass Marine can win. In a head-on fight, it's going to be a lot more difficult. But now we have some Ghosts sprinkled in. We have a Ghost sprinkled in. But now we're getting up to a second Colossus. Ay, ay, ay. Interceptors are getting picked up. Army rotates around. Towards the fourth. And Marines trying to catch a flank, but oh, we bleed off a lot of Marines. Yeah, the Colossus, they're just going ham. And we have a Storm. We have it. We get into the mineral line. SCVs are going down. And the Storm will shut down the army. GG gets called. Sebesdes takes game number 1. GG. Oh my god. What a crazy game 1. GG, well played. Sebesdes does take it. It was a very close back and forth. There were so many layers in that game. Where Sebesdes initially was working with Colossus, getting into Disruptors, was trying to keep up with the movement of his opponents, eventually worked towards Sky Toss, and even then, like, it was not clear cut. Moja, he's crazy. He's an animal. It was beautiful. GG. GG, well played. That was only game 1. I'm ready for game 2. I'm ready for the rest of the series. And that was like almost 30 minutes. It's a half-hour game. Ay, ay, ay. Meanwhile, it looks like the mainstream has wrapped up Skillus versus Gumiho. Oh, Skillus brings down Gumiho. Papi. And because the mainstream have wrapped up with Skillus versus Gumiho, it looks like they might join us. Looks like they might join us, or they might be jumping into Geralt versus Euthermal. Okay, never mind. I thought the mainstream was going to join that. The mainstream, they're going for Geralt and Euthermal. As a heads up. It's okay. We got our stream. We got our series. We like it. We like it. We're here for it. Let's go. Just catching up in the chat. It looks like the mainstream, they're picking. They're deciding. We shall see. Soon to figure out. But yeah, just catching up in the chat. Stay strong. Don't mention balance. Yeah, get the balance out of here, Papi. It was back and forth. It was beautiful. the balance we want. That was intense. Very good game. It was. It was a very good game. It's what we want out of TVP. And here we go. We're getting into game 2. We're going to be loading into Alkyone as our second game. Let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alkyone, we have our German Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing himself, currently teamless, but again, he is a beast in this matchup. It is Moja. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the yellow Protoss player, representing Team Ruddy from the land of Czechia. It is Sebesdes. Whew. Okay. I need to calm down. after that game, I need to calm down, Pop. I need to calm down. We're settling in. What I will say about this map, Alkyone, it is known for its longer macro games as well. So we could be for another back and forth. Another 4, 5, 6 space versus 6 space. We could get there. We'll see. A lot of this will also depend on the openers. As a reminder, even in the last game, it was a blink opener into 3 gateways. It was 3-gate blink out of Sebesdes. Did have map control, you saw earlier as well. Moja went into Cloak Banshees, got damage done with that, got shut down. There was a counterattack. Again, there was just so much back and forth, even in the early to mid game of game 1. So we'll see if we continue that trend. We'll see if Sebesdes once again embraces 3-gate blink, or if we go for something more economic, or even more aggressive. Even if it's a Twilight Council opener, it could be 2-gate blink into a faster third, it could be 4-gate blink for something much more committed, or we could just go middle of the road like game 1 and go 3-gate blink. We'll see. Meanwhile, Sebesdes being as annoying as possible, delaying the expansion. Oh, it's 400 minerals and we get up to 470 before throwing it down. So a nice delay there from Sebesdes. Delays for a couple of seconds. Does delay. Meanwhile, Moja settling in. Is going to be a racked expand, economic opener. Was delayed, but should be okay. Should be able to settle in. You know, StarCraft, it's a game of efficiencies. You know, every second here or there does slowly add up. Back at home, Sebesdes just going for a gate cyber expand, and soon going for his tech of choice. As a reminder, in game 1, we threw down the Twilight Council at the natural. Once again, Twilight Council thrown down at the natural pilot. So we should be seeing blink out of Sebesdes. Whether it's 2, 3, or 4 gateways, we will find out. Meanwhile, Moja not going for an SCV scout, and I believe, yes, skipping his Reaper. Interesting. No SCV scout. We skipped the Reaper. We're going straight into Marine production instead. So Moja is playing in the dark. If Sebesdes were to be hyper-aggressive, then Moja would have no idea. But is instead hyper-fixated on building up Marines, getting to our 1-1-1. Show us the tech lab. No, never mind. Cyclone on the way. Okay. So it looks like it won't be a Banshee opener. Otherwise, we would see a tech lab and then like an add-on swap. But there is no tech lab here, so it looks like we're going for something very different. We shall see. Additional gateways on the way. We have 1 gateway in the main. We have 1 gateway on the low ground, so it looks like 2-gate blink out of Sebesdes, something more economic. So building up that Marine counts. And I imagine going for a medevac for a drop play. Yep, there we go. Medevac is on the way. So it looks like we're going for a much earlier drop here. With Marines, with our Cyclones, assuming that we make a second Cyclone as well. Okay, looks like just the one. There we go. Second Cyclone on the way, so Cyclone drop on the horizon for Moja. And Sebesdes does throw down a 3rd gateway. So just like the previous game, 3-gate blink. 3-gate blink will allow us to have map control and also allow us to counterattack as well and apply pressure to the Terran player. What I'm concerned by is the lack of tanks. Tech Lab is on the way here on the starport. Here comes our initial Cyclone drop. But because we're making Cyclones here, this is going to be delaying tanks, and we'll see how long it takes us for us to really build that up. Going for a Raven. There we go. Now we get the Tech Lab on the factory. 3rd CC in the main base. Quite greedy. Very fast 3rd base out of Moja. is moving out. And this means that if Moja loses control of the center of the map, if he does lose his army, then he's going to be vulnerable back at home. We don't have much to work with. And Moja, he backs off. He does retreat. He sees the Stalker army. He respects it. And Moja is taking a more defensive stance. Meanwhile, as Sebesdes is moving out with high ground vision, with the arrival of... Do we have an observer? Yeah, we have an observer. As we're going to be catching the stray marine. Sebesdes is a little bit distracted. With this high ground, though, we can dive into the main. We can try and delay the expansion, but we're off to the side here, and yeah, it looks like we're not being too aggressive. Stalkers are staying back at home, building up towards a bay, third base, and Colossus. So this is a bit of a shame. The observer does arrive, and now we see how greedy we've been. Third base is almost done, and I think at this point it's too late to punish. There's potential, but Stalkers aren't quite here. We even catch the observer. What's the auto turret? Up. The Viking comes in. Observer goes down. And Sebesdes will just be building up back at home. Has map control, but... And we'll be able to delay the third at least a little bit. It's going to be able to apply pressure here outside the natural. But won't be able to commit and won't be able to get any major pickoffs. Moja is building up. Second tank has arrived. Back at home, Sebesdes is prioritizing Colossus production. So a much more macro-oriented approach this time out of Sebesdes. Was 3-gate blink, but didn't make a warp prism, right? Didn't push out. Under control. Raven escapes. Cyclones are saved. Third base is spotted, and we can expand. Sebesdes just can't do much about it here. He gets 2 Marines, and thankfully doesn't lose a Stalker. But Moja does take the third, and is keeping and is on par with the third base of Sebesdes, which is better for the Terran. For those curious, the Protoss player wants to be upper base. They want to constantly be upper base compared to the Terran player to keep up. And Sebesdes is working on the fourth, but Moja will take the economic lead. As we're pretty even on workers, and we have mules on top of that. You can see here the economy now swing. I mean, it has been swinging for quite some time, but now swinging in favor of the Terran. Of the blue. Behind this, working towards our forges. Double forge on the way. Double forge for our upgrades. We're just maintaining map control, and we're taking up. We're just taking up, getting a fourth base, knocking down rooks. We're taking a more macro approach, which is what we expect out of Alcyone. This is also why Moja felt the ability to be able to get into a faster third base as well, and get away with it. This map is known for its longer and later games. At the same time, auto Tartarassi towards the left-hand side. We do catch a Stalker. Stalker goes down. We do deny mining time. Not too bad. The auto starts were forced down just because Stalkers are in position, but at least the Raven survives. The Raven does live. Ghost Academy on the way, +1 ship weapons. Just building up even further, taking up towards that late game, towards Ghost by a Viking. Likewise, now we've reached, how many Colossus? 3? We're making a 4th Colossus, okay. Getting up towards 4 Colossus, and we should soon be throwing down another form of splash damage, whether it's Storm or a second robot for Disruptors. Once we take extra gases, we can't afford that. So we're taking an extra gas here at the 4th. And there we go, there's a second robo, and we're working towards Disruptors. So not Storm yet, just Colossus into Disruptor. Disruptors are soon to be on the way. Likewise, Sebesdes does force back the Bio Army. But we have to be careful to overextend. We cannot chase this into tank range, as Vikings have arrived. That's going to be how many? 5 Vikings here for Moja. Speaking of Sebesdes pushing in. Not so sure about this. EMP is going to be connecting. 1 tank goes down, but this is not the fight to take. Colossus is going to be falling in the retreat, and we can punish this. Sebesdes at the same time going for a Zealot run-by, but the main army is going to fall. There's big overextension here from the Protoss. Every Colossus going down, and This could even just snowball into a win. We can just keep pushing. Despite the 4th base, despite the setup that we had for a longer game, it doesn't matter. Not anymore. Sometimes one bad fight can just snowball into a win. Aye. We got 11 SCVs, which is great and all, but again, we are just stuck with a gateway army. Moja does back off. He does retreat. But what do we have left? We have 2 disruptors soon. We're soon to have 2 disruptors. We're scanning. We're looking for bases. Moja is taking his time. He's waiting for reinforcements. This is giving Sebesdes the opportunity to actually get into disruptor production. Which means, even though Moja has a lead, and he does. Like, Moja, he's ahead. Straight up. He has map control. He has a solid lead. But if we can connect, like, 1 or 2 good Novas, we can potentially take a fight. Not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy here for Sebesdes, but he could try to take one. Nexus is denied. Moja rotating over, he scans, he sees the disruptors. Rotating over towards now the 4th. I mean, really, Moja, he's playing it safe. He denies the 5th, and if he can deny the 4th base, he can just starve Sebesdes out. He's rotating over towards the 4th. At the same time, DTs, they get so much damage done. 13 SCVs go down, 15 even. Oh, but the Novas don't connect. Oof. As DTs are going ham in the main base, we are crippling the economy. Moja down to 52 workers, and now we have Colossus. We have Vikings still. Overcharge is popped. But Sebesdes, we dive on the army. Tank goes down. So does Disruptor. Tank survives. Wait, what? Tank survives. We shut down the Colossus. Yeah, we still have enough. We still have enough. The Vikings land. We stim on in. And the Protoss player just cannot keep up. Not with this army. Not anymore. Not after the fight we had earlier. There was maybe a chance there, and another Nova goes off, but there's only so much that Disruptors can do for you. The base will fall. We do get, what was that, 15, 16 SVs across the map, but the economy doesn't matter. Not anymore. We take down the 3rd, we take down the 4th, we scan, we're looking for a 5th. Probes are saved, they recall over, but against Sebesdes, doesn't have much to work with. Nova's going up. Yeah, we got some connections. Decent connections here. Out of Sebesdes. But we stim on in nonetheless. And this bio army, the death ball of an army that Terran has, cannot be stopped. We stim and we win. We focus on the Stalkers. GG gets called, and Moja ties up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We're going to game number 3, and again, that was just a really rough fight for Sebesdes. We mentioned it at the time, like, as Sebesdes was setting up in the middle, we were like, yeah, he's setting up, he has map control, but he shouldn't be pushing into the 3rd, and then he pushes it. And it's like, what are we doing? Like, we didn't need to. We had a 4th on the way, we were taking up to 2nd rover, like, there was no need to take that fight. Sebesdes, it looks like he just misread the situation and did overextend. One bad fight, that was it then and there. He lost 3 Colossus, he lost all of his Disruptors, he lost a big portion of his Gateway army. Things went from bad to worse very quickly there, and with that, Moja did punish Sebesdes, takes the game. We're going to the ace match. It shows that, again, these 2 players are neck and neck. Likewise, any mistake made from either player, and they'll be punished quite hard. Whether it's Moja, whether it's Sebesdes. We can't afford these kind of mistakes here. Not at this level of play. Not between these 2 players. As we're getting into the ace match. Here we go. It all comes down to this. The final game on Site Delta. Here we go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Site Delta, we have our German Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing himself, teamless, but did force the ace match, is bouncing back. Can he take the series? We have Moja. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the yellow Protoss player from the land of Czechia, representing Team Roddy, being forced into the ace match. Can he bring it all back? It is Sebesdes. Let me show SCV. Hello. Moja opening up with what looks to be an eBay block. We saw this earlier in his series against, was it Skillis? I think it was Moja versus Skillis, if I recall correctly, where Moja, he does avoid the main scouting path, does come in from a flank. He's going for the natural location, going for the eBay. Meanwhile, Sebesdes moving down to the low ground, and he will get eyes on the eBay quite early on. He has the option to pull the boys, but it looks like we're going for our own proxy. Did you see this probe, its rally? For a moment, he was going towards the northern side of the map, so, okay, never mind. I was like, are we going for a proxy? Never mind, we're just going for a scout. The eBay is almost done at this point, and Sebesdes, he should be forced to expand elsewhere. Oh, Zealot's on the way. This is going to be a late reaction. It's going to take so long to expand. Yeah, we're going for the linear third. We're going for the linear base. Now, this does mean that behind this, Moja can go for a factory. Go for a factory or a CC on the high ground. We have the money for it. Okay, CC. Okay, he's not going for an aggressive follow-up. A Rax expand follow-up, and the probe does confirm. Sebesdes, he does get eyes on the CC. He knows that he should be safe, and his expansion is on the way. Now, with this setup, it's quite awkward for the Protoss. It can be very awkward to defend both the natural and the main base at the same time, just because they're so far apart. So we have to be very careful with our movements. We have to be very careful with our positioning. Otherwise, Moja can take advantage of Sebesdes. Now, thankfully, for our Protoss player here, we don't have a factory follow-up. It's going to be a Marine, it's going to be a second Rax. Potentially a third Rax. Okay. You have my attention. I see you. It's going to be a 2-Rax follow-up. Once again, Twilight Council here for Sebesdes. Oh, okay, 3cc. We saw this, I'm pretty sure we saw this against Skillis. It's going to be a 3cc into a bit of a 2-1-1 variation, or 3-Rax variation. Very economic follow-up here out of Moja. Just rushing into a third base almost as quick, like this is almost as fast as you can in this matchup. Very greedy here out of Moja. Reaper is shut down. We deny scouting information, checking the vision of Moja. He has seen the Twilight Council, is aware. We're getting into a very economic setup. If you remember, yeah, he did this against Skillis and did actually defeat Skillis on side Delta with this build. I'm not specifically with the build, but, you know, off of this opener. Adepts will threaten the shade. They get eyes on the army at least. They spot the additional Raxes. Do trade nicely here. Catching a Marine or two. So that's pulling back. Additional gateways on the way. Once again, the 3-gate blink. It's been the same opener every game so far. I mean, I say the same opener. Game 1 was 3-gate blink into a prism to counterattack. Last game it was 3-gate blink with an observer. With an observer into a bay, into Colossus, into a third. So you can be quite flexible with this. As we take a third base before any kind of Robotech. Okay. Third is on the way. Behind this, Stim is in production. There's a third Rax. Factory as well, working towards drop play. Once the factory is done, we should be building the starport, the reactor, add-on swap into a 16 Marine medevac drop. Basically, Moja is stuck at home until he gets his medevacs up and running. And they're on the way. Until then, Sebesdes is free to saturate his bases, take up, one Stalker goes down. We are taking extra gases. Getting our third up and running. There we go. Robo's now on the way. And Sebesdes still testing the waters at the natural. Making sure he gets eyes on any kind of move out. The problem right now is that Sebesdes doesn't know if this is a 3-Rax. Like, this could be a 3-Rax or it could be 3cc. Like, Sebesdes is still a little bit in the dark. Has eyes on the bio count, but hasn't gotten eyes on the timing of the third. And this charge, Fortra +1. Robo's on the way. You could make an argument, though, that a 3-Rax would be hitting by now. Like, this would be the timing for a 3-Rax to already be moving out, and Sebesdes does pull back. Does pull back home. Here come those medevacs. Sebesdes fanning out his units to hopefully catch the drop. And the medevac drop is on the horizon. It will soon break out. Bay is now on the way for Colossus. Again, we delayed Colossus production in favor of the third. In favor of charge as well. Hallucination does confirm the third base already being taken. And with that, Sebesdes does push. Catch a Marine. Medevacs have arrived. And Sebesdes is able to catch it. Is able to force a stim. Not bad. Moja trying to hunt down this force, trying to hunt down this army, looking for the stalkers. We'll find them. This is trying to pick away at the army as it moves out across the map. Colossus production has begun. How many Colossus do we have? 0. We have the first one on the way. Second Robo in production here for Sebesdes. Speaking of drop play, here come the drops. Double drop towards the main. Pushing towards the third. The Adept will spot the initial drops. Sebesdes does have to split his army. Does he have enough? He's going to have to. Does split up. The fourth and the third. Has shield battery, has overcharge. Moja at least picks off an Adept. Still not quite pushing in. And as all this is happening, the Colossus count is getting higher. We have 1. Soon to be 2. Making a Colossus and a Disruptor at the same time. Okay. Let's go. Threatening a dive. Finding the pylon. Pylon does go down. Oh. Oh my god. Able to pull back. Yeah, so far so good. Sebesdes does establish his 4th base. Hasn't taken any major losses. Takes the 4th. Getting it saturated up to 4 base saturation. Double archives on the way for Archon production. Potentially Storm as well. So we have taken an extra gas. It's at least to a 4 double robo production. Moja being active once again. Moving out with both his armies. Maybe even looking to surround here. To surround the 4th. Oh, never mind. Going for the drop instead. Diving into the main. Nothing in position. Yeah, we're not quite ready for this. Sebesdes rotating around, and that means that we can actually be active with the main army as well. Main base under fire. We deny +2. Yeah, +2 is denied. 8 probes as well. This drop is going to be cleaned up with friendly fire, and at the same time, we hit the 3rd. As Sebesdes not quite in position, we have a handful of zealots, but we can clean them up. Yeah, Sebesdes is getting pulled apart. The Nexus is going to go down. Just having a hard time keeping up here. Was not expecting another move out towards the 4th. And we're going for the surround. We come in from behind. We focus on the Colossus. We can get 1. Nova goes up. Colossus, they stand strong. Novas will connect. We have the overcharge. Sebesdes, he's going to be able to barely hold on here. Colossus doing so much to the army. Take down the Marines. Likewise, yeah, Moja has to retreat. Does respect this, but he got the base. He got the 4th. That's all he really needed. The 4th base goes down. Fighting within range of the shield battery overcharge was not ideal for Moja. It was his downfall in that fight. Once again, coming in from behind. And this time there is no overcharge. The splits are looking good. The concave as well. Up. Catching 2 Marauders towards the end there. But once again, Sebesdes forced back to his natural. Still holding the line, but bleeding out probe after probe. 9 probes going down. We stim in. We get 1, we get 2. 2 Colossus go down. That's what we were waiting for. Yeah, and Moja, he smells blood in the water. He's going for the kill, just rallying everything across the map. He knows he has a broken Sebesdes. He's broken the back of the Protoss army. The overcharge this time, it's not good enough. It does nothing. Too much DPS, too many Marauders. We focus on the final Colossus. And there's only 4 Stalkers left. Dude, that's a lot of medevacs. Jesus. That was like 15 medevacs. GG, well played with that, Moja. We'll take the series 2-1. We'll take down Sebesdes. GG. GG, well played. Went all the way to the ace match. Was a banger of a series. I know there are a lot of fans of Sebesdes in the chat, and I'm sure he appreciates it. He appreciates it as well. I did let him know. Fun fact: I was messaging him. I think it was like 2 series ago. Did let him know that there were a lot of fans cheering for him, and you know, he was of course very motivated to perform well for the fans. And even though Sebesdes did not take a series here, he did force the ace match and did take maps earlier. Did play quite well earlier, even against players like Skillus. So GG, well played. Moja will take the series. Sebesdes will go down. But again, made a series out of it. Made Moja work for it. And it was a beautiful best of 3. Well, that's beautiful. GG, well played. Congratulations. And do we have any matches left? Is there anything remaining is the question here. This is the final round of Group B. And the answer is no. The answer is no. Skillus took down. Let's actually have a look. Let's have a look together. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look back yourselves. The mainstream was covering Skillus versus Gumiho. Skillus, of course, took the series 2-0. Euthermal took down. Oh my, that's a big win. Euthermal took down Geralt 2-1. Oh my god. Mark, calm down. Euthermal with his main race with his Terran took down Geralt 2-1. And of course, we have Moja taking down Sebesdes 2-1 as well. At the end of the night, we have our scoreline. We have our 2 qualified players, Gumiho and Skillus. Gumiho and Skillus make it through. Again, Skillus taking down Gumiho 2-0 was a big win for Skillus, showing why he had no fear for his opponents in this group, for good reason. Very confident play there out of Skillus. Did take a loss earlier, did take a loss to Geralt in the PvP, and as a result comes out second in the group with a worse scoreline. Skillus did drop maps to Moja, did drop maps to Sebesdes, so Skillus comes out in second place, Gumiho in first. But a shout out to all the players here, Euthermal, Moja, so even Sebesdes as well. Had a lot of amazing series, a lot of amazing games, a lot of ace matches as well. And with that, that will conclude day 1. That concludes day 1. GG, man. GG. And yeah, with that, that's going to be day 1 in the books here for HomeStory Cup. The mainstream, of course, was covering a big bulk of the matches as well. And tomorrow, we're coming back for day 2. Day 2 is on the horizon here. Group C and Group D, we're going to be featuring Showtime, Hearthstone, Kelazur, Forjumi, Cuckoo, and Spazzy Mazzy. Likewise, scrolling down, we have a Hero Marine, a Laser, Trigger, Petit Drogo, Mixu, and Holy Hit. Oh boy, 2 massive groups here, 2 round-robin stages, back-to-back tomorrow. And we'll be here on the CranKy Ducklings to bring you as much of the group stage as we can. As much of day 2 as we can. Scrolling down, we do also have the playoff bracket. This is day 3. Day 3 is going to be the playoffs. So, again, make sure you clear your weekend, clear your schedule, because we got 3 days of StarCraft coming at you with some HomeStory Cup action. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be beautiful. Again, a shout out to Take TV, shout out to Take, shout out to Todd, Rotterdam, Wardy, all the players, all the casters that have come together in Germany to make this event a reality. And again, I'm sure it's going to be an amazing one. The group stage is really cutthroat. Again, only top 2 for each group is brutal. It's a brutal format, it's a brutal setting. Wish everyone the best of luck. Good luck, man. Good luck. And again, Group C is pretty hard to call. I feel like it's hard to call between Showtime, Hearthstone, and Kelazur. I feel like all 3 of them are comparable in skill. I think Showtime is the heavy favorite, but again, Hearthstone and Kelazur can be quite comparable and quite back and forth. I wish Diego and El Captain the best of luck. Likewise, for Jumi, he can pop off and he can bring down and meme things up in PvP. Likewise, Cuckoo and Spazzy Mazzy as well. They are not players to be taken lightly. Likewise, here in Group D, Hero Marine, a Laser, and Trigger are amazing players. And likewise, we've got Drogo, Mixu, and Holy Hit looking to cause upsets and looking to try and take maps and even series off of these guys to upset the group. It's possible. It is possible. But we'll see you guys tomorrow for that. It's almost 8 a.m. It's almost 8 a.m. in the morning. I think it's almost midnight in Europe. Am I crazy? What time is it in Europa? Let's see. Germany time. Yeah, it's almost midnight. So get some rest, everyone. Get some rest. Get some bed. Get some sleep, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, 23:49. Yeah. 11:49 p.m. Now it's late for you guys to get some rest. Here I might like stay up one more hour, and then I'll get some sleep. It's, for those curious, it's almost 8 a.m. here in Australia. Almost 8 a.m. We casted throughout the entire night, Bobby. This was an 11-hour stream. Oh my god. I'll be honest, it didn't feel that long. Didn't feel that long, but 11 hours. And tomorrow, we'll do it again. 11 more hours, Bobby. Let's go. Let's go. Hopefully I survive. I'll be honest, I could, especially in that last series, I could feel the fatigue. I could feel the fatigue kicking in. So, we made it. We made it. Solo casting for 11 hours. Not our longest stream. I think our longest cast was 14 hours, if I remember. Our longest cast was 14 hours. But I cheated because I had co-casters for that. I had like rotating. I think I had like Yaku for a bit and Asher for a bit. Like for the 14-hour cast, I had co-casters, so it was a little bit easier. But with that, we're done. We're done, man. Home tonight. We're going home tonight, man. Cheated, yeah, cheated. Unironically, it is easier to cast with another person because like you're literally talking half the time, so it's easier on the throat. But with that, thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you for the support. If you enjoyed the cast, follow us, whether you're on Twitch, whether on YouTube. Follow us over on our channels. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. ! Socials in the chat, and you'll get a link to all of our stuff. We stream here on a daily basis. Every single day we got some StarCraft coming at you. It is very rare for us to take a day off. Every time it happens, I'm grateful because I can rest. And whenever I have a day off, I just sleep the entire day. I remember, I think we've gone like I think 5 months, 6 months without taking a day off. So yeah, plenty of content. If you like StarCraft, if you enjoy the content, follow us on Twitch or on YouTube. We've got plenty of StarCraft available. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow for some more HomeStory Cup action. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao, hasta luego.